Well, Judy, Ed Burke was hoping his acts of kindness as well as his age would spare him of any prison time. Well, it did not, but it almost did. And while this sentence was handed down, Burke's face remained expressionless. He will be reporting to prison in September. The once powerful alderman will be swapping his pinstripe suits and fedoras for prison clothes. Ed Burke said nothing as he walked out of the Dirksen Federal Building with his wife Ann, 4 children, and his attorneys. While he's remained silent during this entire process, Burke very briefly addressed the court, not quite apologizing, but came close. He told Judge Virginia Kendall, quote, "The blame for this is mine and mine alone. I regret the pain I caused to my family and friends." End quote. Back in December, a jury found Burke guilty of racketeering, bribery, and attempted extortion charges. His trial lasted 6 weeks with more than 100 secret recordings and dozens of witnesses. The 2-year prison sentence is 6 years less than federal prosecutors originally requested. Assistant U.S. Attorney Sarah Stryker was hoping Judge Kendall would not factor in Burke's age. Stryker said, quote, "His age did nothing to deter him to committing crimes and shouldn't absolve it when it comes to punishment. The crimes were committed when Burke was in his 70s. The defense focused on Burke's character, citing the hundreds of letters Kendall received from prominent people and ordinary citizens who all wrote about the 80-year-old's acts of kindness throughout his life. Defense attorney Charles Slarcy says Burke's life is more than the tapes that people heard in court. Quote, he said, "Ed is a priest without a collar because he has done so many things that are priestly in nature." Judge Kendall says she was impressed with the amount of letters that she did receive. And while the defense did not talk to reporters, neither did the prosecution, but acting U.S. Attorney Morris Pasquale did release the following statement, quote, "Corruption in the city of Chicago City Council tears at the fabric of a vital body of local government. When an alderman fails to discharge his duties with honesty and integrity, he betrays not only the citizens of Chicago, but his fellow public officials who do their jobs the right way." Burke now is the 10th alderman to be sent to prison since 2006. Live at the Dirksen Federal Building, Sarah Schulte, ABC 7 Eyewitness News. Back to you.
All right, Sarah's been on this right from the beginning. Thank you so much. Now, what message did the judge actually send by ordering this one-time powerful Chicago alderman to prison? Our political reporter, Craig Wall, live with that part of the story tonight. Craig?
Yeah, a lot of it will depend on what people think that message should have been and how they feel about the message that she did send. Judge Kendall taking many things into consideration when sentencing Ed Burke to those 2 years in federal prison, his age, as well as the many good things she heard about him over the years. Still, Ed Burke is heading to federal prison. Ed Burke leaving the courthouse tonight with his wife Ann, facing the reality that he will be losing his freedom on September 23rd when he will have to report to federal prison, the location still to be determined by the Department of Prisons. Tonight, former Mayor Lori Lightfoot, whose anti-corruption messaging in the wake of the FBI raid on Burke's City Hall office in 2018 propelled her into the mayor's office, reacting to the 2-year sentence handed down by Judge Virginia Kendall.
She's not known for being a light touch when it comes to sentencing, but clearly there were things that she was affected by. I think the letters of support, I think she was affected by the Solis factor, and I think she was affected by other aspects of the government's case and how hard they were going at her to give a really harsh sentence to an 80-something-year-old.
The judge noting that while she had 2 years worth of evidence of corrupt activity for which Burke was convicted in December, she said that did not wipe out all the good he did over many decades. Burke could have gotten just a bit over 8 years under sentencing guidelines while the defense was seeking home confinement. The judge said her job was to impose a sufficient sentence, but not one greater than necessary.
I think it was a fair sentence, the 2 years, the 1-year probation, the $2 million fine. I think sends a clear message this was a crime. The jury was unanimous in their decision on 13 counts. And it is a big downfall for what was the most powerful alderman in the city of Chicago for most of his 54 years in the council.
Tonight, Mayor Brandon Johnson's office referring us back to the statement they released in December when the jury returns its verdict. That statement in essence saying that if public officials break the law, they need to be held accountable.
Watch breaking news on YouTube. Subscribe to ABC 7 Chicago Eyewitness News.